Item 7.5, consider approving the interlocal agreement between Hood County and the City of Granbury for animal control support. Chris?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Wadley. Let me get to the right agenda item here. This is a interlocal agreement where Hood County provides support for animal control. They have a shelter in our city, and we've been paying them for quite some time, long before I got here. And they sent a list of, or this new interlocal agreement, and basically assessed us an extra $360 more than what we were paying. So it's a total of $17,810 for this year's service. We pay that in monthly payments to them. And I'm just going to get on my soapbox and say the taxpayers of Granbury are also taxpayers of the county, and they are paying this fee twice. So we're, the Hood County residents that live in Granbury are paying taxes to the county for the shelter, and they're also paying the city taxes for the shelter services. So that's a sticking point on every agreement we have with them, where we're being what Eddie told me was double dipping earlier tonight. He used that word. So I just want to bring that out and let y'all deal with it. If we, you know, we've been doing it this way forever, and that's the way it is. So it's up to y'all to, it's an interlocal agreement. It's up to y'all to authorize me to execute it or not. So there we go.
So if we didn't sign this and our animal control picks up a animal, would the county not accept it?
That's a question for the county, isn't it?
Because with what Chris just said, here's how I looked at it. I have two employees. One lives in the county, one lives in the city. The employee lives in the county, has a wild dog in her neighborhood, and calls animal control, and the county animal control person would come and pick up the animal, take it to their facility, and then they have a process where they keep it for some number of, 72 hours, I think it said, what a time frame, and then they try to rehome it. I guess if it has tags, they try to contact the owner, and then if in the bad scenario, they would euthanize it. And that would not cost the person that lives in the county anything. My employee that lives in the city would call animal control, and the city animal control person that works for our police department. So you figure a police officer with their salary and their benefits and the truck that they drive is paid for by the city. They show up at that address, pick up the animal, take it to the county and give it to the county, and the county goes through their normal process with it. So the person that lives in the city pays city taxes and county taxes, what Chris said a minute ago, but the person in the city is paying taxes twice. And in addition to having this officer that works for us, this county wants to charge us $17,800 for that service. And I agree with Eddie's double dip comment then. I didn't hear it earlier until Chris just said that, but I don't understand why we're paying twice. I had the same thought about, I should probably go here, streets. Can we talk about anything else or not? Probably
sure.
Not. Because everybody that lives in the city pays city taxes and county taxes. The county maintains all the county roads. The city maintains all of the city streets. The county doesn't participate in the streets, even though they're also in the county. Kind of the same concept.
And dispatching.
Are we going to go there?
Stay on topic.
I'm sorry.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
Thank you. I just got so that was one of my questions is what happens if, and I don't want to propose this, but what if we didn't have an animal control in our police department, Chris? What happens then? Is that, I
mean, a
mean,
police officer would probably try to take care of that need, a patrolman, you know, and they would put the dog in the cage that they would normally put a person in, and then try to figure out what to do with it. And if it was a rabid dog, they would probably shoot it on the spot.
Okay. And how many animal control officers do we have?
We have one, and I will say that when he's out, the county will respond to those calls while he's on vacation or sick leave. They have historically done that for us. That's really not spelled out in the agreement. It just says animal control support. So
Okay. And what are we actually sending that money? Do you have any idea what that money is being used for?
food and euthanizing the chemicals used to euthanize, and also the food. And we provide water for that facility as well, no charge.
And so we provide an officer as a service for the city citizens that our city taxes are paying. City taxes are paying for that officer
Right.
to provide that service for city personnel. I just don't understand why we have to pay the county if they're not providing that type of assistance or sending anybody to come pick up the when we call animal control, they don't come pick it up and deal with that. And we already paying Hood County taxes for that service anyway. So I don't agree. I mean, we're already paying Hood County taxes. We're paying city taxes if we're in the city, and Hood County taxes. So you're paying for that service, Hood County Animal Control Service, already. And then they want to charge you under the city taxes, or we're allowing as a council to pay them on top of that. So this is a decision that we can make here to stop that if we choose.
Yeah, it's not quite that clear.
Have a comment?
I would like to ask our city attorney, do you have any knowledge if Toller pays this fee?
Yeah, no, Toller is charged a same or similar fee. I do know that. I've seen the records. So the deal with the animal control is that if we don't have a contract, because we have an animal control office, if we don't have a contract for them, there may be a lapse in service, and then it'll be left to our animal control folks to do whatever that is. Contract with a private entity or a rescue somewhere else or something like that, and there may be fees related to that. But the Health and Safety Code, and I wish I could recall the number, I think it's Chapter 882 of the Health and Safety Code, puts the onus of animal control on the sheriff. The sheriff is ultimately responsible. So you can choose to enter into this agreement to pay for the services, or on a future agenda, you can abolish the City of Granbury's Animal Control Office, and then it will be on the county to deal with it. But because we currently have an animal control office, we have to have somewhere to put these animals we pick up, and if they charge us to put them there, then we're stuck with this contract. So your choices are enter into the contract or abolish the animal control office and let the county deal with it.
And I'll just tell you, maybe you can tell us about the level of service they're receiving in Toller from the county related to this activity.
Well, it's very limited. They actually, some of the elected officials over there voiced to me that, and their administration and their police chief have voiced to me that they really receive no assistance. In fact, just recently there was a call that was put in regarding an animal, and the city staff called into the county to get some assistance with the animal and couldn't get any. They received no assistance with the dog until the Toller superintendent called in and said, this is a dangerous dog on school property and we have kids out here. Then someone finally showed up, but that's the level that it rose to. And so ultimately, for those that don't know this, I'm also the Toller city attorney. That's why I have the sentiment knowledge of their contracts as well, is that they actually receive nothing for what they pay the county.
So I would just say that in view of the health and safety of our community, this might be worth renewing one more time and during the period of the next few months, work with the county to try to eliminate this moving forward. This is an important service that's being provided by our staff to make sure that if we have a dangerous dog or a rabid skunk. I've heard of rabid raccoons being at people's houses that we've captured and had to euthanize. Those are the kind of things that we run into. Feral cats. I just don't see the county stepping up to the plate to meet this need. And so maybe that's the justification to approve this for now and move forward. It's a 12-month contract. If they're going to go up on it, I wish they'd let me know in June when they determine how much it's going to go up instead of wait till after the budget's adopted. I think I can absorb the $360 increase they've put in there in our $68 million budget, but still, pennies add up, and we need to get it right.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, Greg.
So, I guess I've never asked a specific question, Chris, but until you just said a little earlier that we are covering the bill for the water, I mean, I agree that, based on Jeremy's understanding that we need the contract, we need to have somewhere to take these animals, but I don't have a problem approving it under those circumstances, but what I would request from staff is that we attempt to renegotiate to say, you charge these other communities, these other cities for this service, but we are effectively giving you something and being charged the same amount because we're covering the charge of the water. So I would like to see a similar contract going forward without the fee because we are providing the water.
I'll look into that for you.
Thank you.
Council, any other comments?
So, Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
so the county does have an animal control, or their sheriff's deputies, their animal control.
They have an animal control officer.
So if somebody in the county has a dog that they want to get picked up, they call the sheriff's department, and the sheriff sends their animal control out. So if we didn't have this agreement, we live in the county, we call the sheriff, and the sheriff would send their animal control out to take care of that dog that's in my backyard.
That's a good theory.
Except, but for the fact that the city of Granbury has an animal control office, and so statutorily, because we have that office, we would send those people out. But again, if you abolish that, the statute, and there are several Attorney General's opinions on this that are very clear that if we don't have that officer, maybe reassign him to something else, and we no longer provide that service in the city, then the statute and the case law and the AG opinions are very clear that it is the obligation of the sheriff, regardless of city limits, to ensure animal control is handled within the county.
I don't have a problem with us having our own animal control officer. My issue is that we're being charged by the county for something that someone who lives in the county isn't charged for, being charged twice.
Intricacies of the law.
How's it part of the law? How's that? I don't.
Because
His comment was
Chapter 882 of the
intricacies of the
statute
law.
says that if we have an animal control office, we have to contract with some entity. It doesn't have to be the county. It can be a rescue. It could be a private entity.
We could have our own.
Or we can establish our own kennels for these animals. But if we have an animal control office, we have to have a contract for a place to take these animals to, and they're offering this as the fee. I'm not saying I agree with the fee, just from a legal standpoint, either we either enter into this contract, we find a private entity to house these animals, or no longer have an animal control office and let them handle it all. These are your options.
So if we enter into this, are we stuck then for a whole year? I mean, we cannot renegotiate this with the county at some time to do something different. I mean, we can negotiate it during the year, and then next year it would be effective. But this year, we're going to still wind up paying the $17,000. Is that correct?
What happens?
Well, you can terminate it with 30 days written notice.
What happens if we don't pay this, Jeremy?
then we'll have nowhere to take the animals that get picked up.
Unless they want to let us do it for free. Yeah.
Well, but Jeremy just said we have to have a contract by state law.
So technically, we don't have an agreement right now because this is effective October 1st, 2025. I didn't get it till after the deadline. I could put it on this agenda. I couldn't put it on the September agenda.
And just to point out, to maybe try to answer Skip's question a little bit, yes, this would be binding for 12 months. However, you could give 30 days notice if an alternative was found in the interim of that you as a council like better. The other thing is you could attempt to renegotiate the contract with the county, and it could always be amended at some point during the year as well.
I'm just saying, we're already late. We're in October. I don't know what we're doing since September to now, but I'm just wondering if we can just, wait another month, this is the first time we're talking about this right now. And I like Greg's idea of, let's see how much it costs for them, how much water they're using at that facility, and renegotiate the contract. Let our lawyer deal with that and come up with renegotiations of that contract. I don't see us, we are where we are, and this is the first time we're seeing this. So I don't know if another 2 weeks or a month would change what we have here now. We're already late. So what are they going to do? Or is there a late fee? I don't know. I don't know. You tell me, Jeremy, are we in breach of contract? If so, I don't know I'm just trying to understand, wrap my head around this and see what our options are.
We don't actually have a contract. That's why they've sent this over with the judge's signature on it. They want us to get into a contract. So
Okay.
we're not in breach. They're seeking out a contract. And yeah, well, what all they can do is tomorrow say we're not taking any more of your animals because you don't have a contract.
Okay.
This contract is signed.
That was the 2024
That's the
contract.
old one.
Oh,
It's just the new ones in the packet as well.
But at the risk of hindering our own officer,
Thank you.
I would propose and make the motion that we accept the contract as stated, and then in the meantime, work with the county to find a better deal sooner rather than later.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Can I ask or request Greg to revise that motion to go ahead and direct staff to give maybe a 30-day notice next month so we can have renegotiations or something to that effect. That way we can keep the officer in his position.
I will caution against that. I'm sorry, Councilman Rodriguez. The use of a threat of termination during a renegotiation actually is not considered a renegotiation. We're dealing with that exact issue with the county right now on a similar issue that they agendized a renegotiation that ended up being a termination illegally. So my suggestion would be you can always direct staff to get an itemization of all of the costs and all of that stuff that's involved with the animal control so that it can be brought back to you guys to consider. I think the singular motion for today would either be to accept or reject the contract because that's what we have on the agenda. And I'm just saying that to protect you guys.
and we don't pay the whole contract. It's only, we pay it quarterly, right?
Pay it monthly.
Monthly? Okay, so we can approve it. We can approve Greg's motion, and still, we're only going to pay it monthly, and then separately direct staff to try to negotiate with the county.
I think we understand that.
Yeah, motion stands.
Okay. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.